Well, good morning, fellow zombie. What's going on? It is the 2nd of January, 2022. It is Sunday. So far, we haven't burned up in anything else except in Colorado. COVID nightmare still there. Politics hasn't reared its ugly head until the 3rd. And Supreme Court still making decisions against or for, well, hopefully against, all the Trump's attempt to whitewash what happened on January 6th and everything else related to it. Not having a very good time at it either. Not to mention some of the other court cases happening regarding offenses against the accusations of being traitors to the country and doing a traitor's act. Insurrection back in January 6, 2021 is the one thing that's never going to be forgotten because it's not going to be forgotten. Something as heinous as marching on your capital, destroying property, and threatening people's lives. That's not exactly the American way. And yet, did we ever face this kind of tragedy before in our history? And how a government tried to forgive you one time in life, but then decades later, or actually a century later, saying, no, there's no forgiveness on this one. You're guilty, you're going to jail on this one. President Lincoln, as much as I understood about history, what was being taught to me in history classes, back as a kid, and teenager, and as an adult, most far as going through community college. He would have had a tough time regarding the situation here. He saw his own time fractured. People's contentious views going against each other, and struggle for freedom and liberty was trying to outweigh everything else going on. But also the economic pressure and the thumb screwing on a portion of the country that still seemed to be out of balance. Morning, you. What are you doing up? She's up again. Don't say hi to me, why don't you, young lady? Yeah, you. Sorry, talking to my dog. Give me a second here. I'll tell you, when your own dog doesn't even bother to acknowledge you, especially when you're moving from place to place. Wait. She did need to go out, and that's okay. And now she's going to be having to settle down and get herself warmed up by the clothes. Yes, that's good. So, throwing out politics, throwing out the COVID nightmare because it's affecting everything, including air travel and everything else going on. Fire that started a long time ago in Colorado is still chewing up real estate left and right. At one time I thought I wanted to go out in Colorado, maybe visit or live out there. And the thing of it is, I'm still deciding that. I'm still a California kind of guy, and I'm too hooked on the past. I have yet to travel outside the area myself. I mean, I haven't been out state. Not for decades. And only with a bunch of students and adult supervision did I actually go to another state for a couple of days, coming right back to California. A couple of days, hell, it was about a week. With the family, the different story altogether. I didn't travel out of state until in the mid-portion of the 70s. 74, 75. Car trip the family takes out to Wyoming and right back. This must have been for Thanksgiving holiday. Short-lived as it was. Things happen. Long story on that one, I guess, if I can remember pulling it out of my head. Other than that, yeah, I'd like to travel out of the state if I wanted to. And the thing of it is, every time I keep looking around my own backyard, I'm not talking about out in the back of my own apartment complex. I mean, you're talking about the Southland. Some things I probably would want to see. You know, it'll take me a hell of a time just to get to one place to another place, especially when you're busing it or you're using a train all the time. There's a place called the Citadel in Commerce. Now, it'll take me a short time to take a bus, actually take a train ride out to Union Station, and then from that one, it's finding the right lines in the area to get myself over to Commerce. Unless, of course, I'm going to be paying for a hell of an Uber ride to and from. That's going to be expensive as hell. Just to check out a mall. But they have the Disney outlet store and maybe a few other stores I wanted to see in the first place. And since I took out every other Disney store around here that does the same Disney stuff, shoving everything else online. I've seen what they got online. They suck. It seems like I have to go to private collectors for some of the stuff I want to get from Disney. And if there are any specialty stuff, I'm going to have to make a small sacrifice here, of sorts of making an expensive shopping trip somehow. Because in order to do that, I have to leave my dog alone here, and then traveling towards Commerce, staying overnight, and coming back home. Or worse, going over to Anaheim and going on Disney property to get the Disney merchandise if I so want to choose in the first place. When you're stuck in California, you need transportation, such as private transportation, or the money to keep affording other private transportation to get you to and from. You're going to be either hoofing it, or you're going to be busting out left and right, or taking trains, and or I should say. And that still costs money right there. Welcome to California living right now, as it is. Because without private transportation, you're you're stuck on public transportation, you don't know how long this thing's going to be. Unless you're comfortable and know your way and savvy about it. I used to be a long time ago. Problem is, things have changed so much that I lost my savviness. When I left the San Fernando Valley, I know they're going to be going through bus changes left and right, route changes, time changes concerning about subways and express buses. They changed them a great deal. So, being almost 20 years coming up in that time period. What was I left? 2005. Yeah. Give it a few more years. It would be about 20, wouldn't it? There are too many changes that happened in the transit routes. Screwed up, well, I call it screwed up. Different bus numbers, different routes, different apps on how to confuse the living crap out of you. Regarding the land routes, regarding the subway routes, and regarding the Metrolink. That's what happens when you stay out of the loop for a hell of a long while. And the only ones I'm familiar with are the local lines out here now, because I've got adjusted to them, or at least have expected changes from the local lines out here. It's how I cope and deal with changes, my reactions to it, and of it and from it. Yeah, my brain just kind of faded out just for a couple seconds. When a person gets CRS, kind of blanks out for a second, I kind of freak out myself, especially when it's me doing the same situation here. Now, how to deal with my condition is convincing myself either to do it or not to do it. Mostly not to do it. Talking myself out of a perfectly good idea. Yes, I'd like to go out there and shop. Yes, I'd like to go out there and see what's going on out there, but I haven't. And to see and cope with whether or not if I'm actually going to be able to afford all the good stuff. Yeah, right. I'll be lucky enough I can afford a buck of matches. Which I can't. Looking at my bank totals right now. They suck. They suck. They suck. And they suck again. When you're low on funds, you feel like you can't transfer anywhere else or afford to buy anything. You kind of put a dampener on things, you know. Some stuff I want to get, and other stuff I can't get. But it's like adding more collection here than I already got. And if I'm not satisfied with the physical, then what the hell am I doing? Driving myself nuts, that's basically what I am doing. Some logs I decided to go back inside because they're too damn personal, and the other ones are just too damn out of it. This is one of those logs where too damn out of it. Yeah, I kept thinking whether or not if I was actually going to be able to pull this shit off or not. I mean, one thing to get over to the Union Station, okay, that's the thing. But to find the right bus, just get my ass over to the tower, so. I gotta be out of my damn mind. No, I gotta be out of my damn mind for this shit. And however, if I'm going to treat it as a birthday gift, maybe. Or getting out of the house a couple of times. I gotta start doing something for myself. I just can't keep staying here and thinking I'm going to keep living it out. This isn't living, this is existing. I mean, looking at my own damn apartment is a complete waste. It's a junkyard. It's a junkyard. Especially, I know one particular storage room that used to be my bedroom. It's a complete junkyard, right? And empty boxes that are ready to be torn apart and taken out of here. I got one major box over here still needs to be getting rid of. And I hadn't got rid of the damn thing yet. What the fuck's wrong with me? Because I don't want anybody else to know if I got all this shit. What the fuck am I embarrassed for? I see people drag out other shit. Sometimes they do it late at night. Broken down pieces of shit, dragging it right next to the damn garbage can. Yeah, that's what the cans are there for, to be used. And right now they're totally packed. So quite frankly, I can't get rid of this damn shit I got right now. I gotta add more to it. To drag out there. I gotta get myself prepared for the damn shit, which means I need to get my ass working on this shit. Yesterday, it was like I had to sleep. I had to sleep. I had to start off this whole year off by sleeping through it. Sleeping through the first day. But then again, going back over my past records, whenever David and I would go out, we would sleep on January 1st. Unless we were going out that day to go see the floats. Either with or without people. With or without mom. I basically used the day as just another day. If I was working, I didn't see that happening. There are usually companies out there that would treat January 1st as, you don't work it, and other days you do work it. If you're lucky enough. Sometimes people are able to schedule vacations during that time. Lucky them. I should say that because back then I couldn't even schedule those kind of days, so how could I? Lucky for me. And since I'm a student right now in my adulthood, not going to work, it's still a winter break. And knowing within a week and a half I'll be going back over to school. It'll be next week. Which means this week either I get my place acted up together or be doing something fun or both. Just trying to get something going. Trying to get a momentum going instead of just dragging my ass. Because that's how I'm feeling myself doing, is dragging my ass and I'm bitching and I'm griping about myself. Consider it along to the bitch and gripe situation, the whole damn shit. Because I'm not living up to a damn potential. I'm not living up to someone's expectations. It seems like I'm looking at things as if just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. I don't need to deal with you. Just leave me alone. I'm having enough problems as it is. I don't want to deal with you. Just leave me alone. What am I going to deal with this? Just leave me alone. What are you doing here? Are you sneering at me? Sneer right back at you. I'm so deep. You'll never enter. Just leave me alone. Doing much. Just leave me alone. Just feel sorry for me. That's all I want you to do. Just feel sorry for me. No, I want you to show pity. Show pity. That's what I want. Just leave me alone. I don't want it, but I don't want it. I don't know what I want. Skull up the face. Can't think how many people I've met in my life like that. You'll never shit I had so like that. Oh, you're like a shithead. You're no shithead. You're a shithead. I told you the shithead. I told you the shithead. I tried to win. Call myself the shithead that way, don't you? What are you doing? Sticking your tongue out there. You shitty little man, you. I could do the same thing with my tongue sticking. You want that way? I'm having a fight with myself. Personality shift here, that's all I need. He's got worse bipolar to schizophrenia. Yeah, I could do the phone, I could do the faces. I could do the voices on myself. The personality shift. Just make it a face. What do you think you're doing? Try to do that in public. Oh my god. People think I'd lose it. I think I would probably lost a long time ago. No, they called me Walter. About a decade ago, they called me Walter. About a decade and a half ago or two, Dave and I got into this thing regarding this comedian with not ventriloquism, but dealing with his puppets. Jeff Dunn. God, I'm crazy with this shit. We're laughing our heads off because some of the stuff he's doing is funny. He can make some funny jokes by himself as it is. Like he needs his props to make him come alive. The jokes to come out and visualize it. And my brother always loved Walter. Walter was this old, frumpy, grumpy old man in the 70s. That's how my brother looked at him. And the personality that Dunham would put into this puppet would be the personality my brother would emulate at half the time in the first place. So he and my brother fit in quite nicely. We'd laugh at Peanut. Enjoy Idiot Sour. And there's Jose and Steve. One of his first puppets, I guess, or just a shtick he had. A jalapeno on a shtick. And we'd watch the videos, we'd watch the comedy specials, we'd get the DVDs and all. I got them buried alive. I got them buried with other DVDs that my brother would enjoy like crazy. Every once in a while, I'll pull them out just to watch them. If I get a different screen, eventually. probably will. For the most part, I'm dealing with the computers because I can deal with the damn television what's going on. I don't have that damn thing working, so I gotta get rid of that shit. I haven't got done that one either. I need to. I can afford it, put up the money on a card, purchase another television. Get a flat. Old and worn out. Not feeling. That's how I'm feeling these days. And I don't know what makes me feel that way sometimes. But it does hurt. It does hurt sometimes. Oh. Some things I don't want to deal with, and other things I don't want to deal with. I don't want to deal with acid indigestion, especially for the damn chicken nuggets. I'm sorry, just chicken strips I had. The other place around this whole dump town would do the strips. Too much garlic is stored. And yet the other place I do with Wayside, or once in a great while, would do them less garlicky on them. You put salt on them if you need to. And the fries, no, they suck. But the fries even worse over at Albertsons with the wedges. They suck even worse. It's because of the prepackaged powder that the potatoes are processed with. The garlic mixture that they have for it to give it flavor. That's not flavor, that's acid indigestion. That's a lot of milk to go over. There's my weight right there. And milk. Instead of dealing with acid indigestion medications, or at least worse than that, modify my diet so I don't have to have that acid indigestion. My God, what a concept that is. Instead of just drinking milk left and right. No wonder my brother went crazy. He was also a big drinker too sometimes. Both of them. But I'm drinking it for the acid indigestion. It was told to me that milk fat would line the stomach lining a bit. If there was any issues the stomach was having, I wouldn't feel it as much. Then again, I'd either be chunking the damn shit down or drinking liquid and acid down either. Oh, and have it discolor the shit into black. How about that one? Yeah, the properties of having Pepto-Bismol. Malenta would have been a hell of a lot better, but Malenta usually does with the mint. And mint usually gives me acid indigestion sometimes. Hence the milk. So yes, I do got GERD. I guess that's going to be it for right now. I just had to get this shit off my chest because there's nothing interesting happening in the news these days that I haven't been paying attention to in the first place. Besides the rain and the flash floods already happened at this point over here. Fires happening in Colorado. Nothing major psychotic happening out here. So maybe an occasional shooting if we're lucky. Or a good chase. There's a chase, I think, in New Year's Eve. But I never knew what the hell happened to it. They shut it off. Maybe they blasted the guy out of the damn car. Maybe they got tired of him. Never know what happened to the guy, so it's like I have to do a little research in that news. Other than that, this is the Sunday. We'll see how the rest of the day goes.